According to the Zoological Society of London, the pug is one of the oldest breeds of dog, originating in China some 700 years BC. Their presence was noted in Holland, England, Germany, Spain, Italy, and Russia as early as the 15th and 16th centuries, where they were variously known as Mopshunden, Mops, Carlin, Carlini, and in England as Dutch Mastiffs or Pugs. This preamble to the pug standard seems appropriate because the standard is such a modest one. It is descended to us virtually word for word from its first draft in England in 1883. In those days, brevity was possible because the level of expertise was high. Virtually all fanciers knew each other, and much of what was not stated was taken for granted. You will see many pugs in this presentation illustrating the standard's requirements. My voice will comment on each section as we proceed. The next voice you hear will read the actual text of the pug standard.
Symmetry. Symmetry and general appearance. Decidedly square and cobby. A lean, leggy pug and a dog with short legs and a long body are equally objectionable.
The pug should give a strong impression of squareness when viewed from any angle. Cobby means short-bodied and thick-set, and square, of course, means approximately the same height from the ground to withers as length from the point of shoulder to the point of buttocks. All of the parts, head, body, legs, must fit together to form a harmonious unit. But the most important concept to remember is square.
Size and condition. The pug should be multum in parvo, but this condensation, if the word may be used, should be shown by compactness of form, well-knit proportions, and hardness of developed muscle. Weight from 14 to 18 pounds, dog or bitch, desirable.
We can translate the Latin phrase multum in parvo, a lot in a little, as the standard describes it: compactness and well-knit proportions. Hardness of developed muscle, as seen here, is certainly a desirable trait, but it must be remembered that the pug is a toy dog whose brachycephalic characteristics do not equip it for strenuous work over long periods of time. Pugs that are either fat or weedy are undesirable. Muscle must be sufficiently developed to permit sound movement, like this. The standard describes size only in terms of weight, 14 to 18 pounds, and indicates this is desirable for both dogs and bitches. It is obvious that for a pug to be balanced, the dog's weight has to be in proportion to its height and bone. It should be remembered that at the time this standard was written, the diet of dogs was not as well balanced and nutritious as we have today. Thus, dogs now are generally better nourished and probably a little heavier. However, weight varies considerably according to body structure and density, so that two pugs of exactly the same measurements can vary as much as 3 pounds. It is better to evaluate a pug on its bone, muscle, and cobbiness in relation to its size, rather than on weight alone. Since weight is not a disqualification, the judge can only estimate. Undesirable, excessively large or diminutive, lacking in muscle tone.
Head. Large, massive, round, not apple-headed, with no indentation of the skull.
A large head is essential, but a head so large as to be out of balance with the rest of the dog is as unappealing as a small-headed pug. The pug's head must be in proportion with the whole dog, as this one is. The length of the upper skull and the lower skull should be equal. The distance from the top of the skull to the tip of the nose should equal the distance from the top of the nose to the bottom of the chin, as seen here. Undesirable, dominess, indentation of skull, lack of balance, up-faced, protruding nose.
Muzzle. Short, blunt, square but not up-faced.
The muzzle being approximately 1/2 the face, is extremely important. It should be as flat as possible when viewed in profile. The width of the muzzle should equal the width of the skull and should extend to the outer corner of each eye. It must be well cushioned. The upper lips should be full, but not long enough to hide the chin. The underjaw is wide and deep and creates a definite chin. The muzzle should not fall away under the eyes, as this one does, distorting head balance into an elongated rectangle. The muzzle must be black. Whiskers can be removed for the show ring, but failure to do so should not be penalized. Undesirable: narrow or pointed muzzle, lack of underjaw, pendulous lips. The standard does not mention teeth. Ideally, the bite should be a reverse scissors, undershot not more than 1/4 inch. An overshot bite distorts expression and sometimes gives a lippy, weak look to the face. Evenly placed teeth in the lower jaw between the eye teeth are the ideal, but some unevenness is permissible. It is easier to check the bite on the pug by gently separating the lips. Even the best trained pugs are sensitive about opening their mouths. A lolling or peeking tongue like this is evidence of malocclusion and should be penalized. Undesirable: a pug with an obviously wry mouth or lolling, peeking tongue.
Eyes: dark in color, very large, bold, and prominent, globular in shape, soft and solicitous in expression, very lustrous, and when excited, full of fire.
The large, dark, appealing eyes of the pug are an important feature. Eyes should be bold, prominent, and globular, but not bulging. A pug's expression is largely dependent on the eyes. At rest, the dog's expression should be benign, intelligent, and affectionate. When alert, the expression should be keen, alert, and curious, and very sparkling, showing a love of mischief. While the standard makes no mention of eye position, it is accepted that the eyes shall be set wide apart. Rims are black and usually encompassed by the black mask. In black pugs, of course, the mask is not distinct. Little or no white should show. This is too much white, and the eyes are too light. These eyes protrude too much and are too east-west for optimum vision. Pugs with correct, large globular eyes have more of a chance to have east-west eyes. There is considerable disagreement among pug breeders as to the faultiness of east-west eyes. Size, shape, and color of the eye are the primary considerations. Undesirable: light-eyed, excessive white around eyes, too small or squinted eyes, close-set eyes, pop eyes.
Ears: thin, small, soft like black velvet. There are two kinds, the rose and button. Preference is given to the latter.
Ears should be set wide on the head, the fold level with the top of the skull. The V of the button ear should drop down approximately even with the outside corner of the eye. In pugs, a rose ear is one in which the flap is carried close to the skull, but folded back to show the inner burr, and will be unable to reach the corner of the eye because of the fold. The rose ear tends to give the head a smaller and more rounded look. These ears are too high and small. The size of the ear should be in balance with the overall size of the head. These are too big. Ears must be black, and both ears should be of the same type. On this head, the ear on the left is button, the one on the right is rose. Undesirable: flying ears, light-colored ears, ears set too low, ears too thick or too large. Although mention of the nose was omitted from the standard, a short discussion of the nose is necessary. The nose is black in both black and fawn pugs. It is wide, not pinched, and lies flat, bisecting the eyes. It slopes neither up nor down. It should be flat. The stop is concealed by an over-nose wrinkle, which should cover the nose but not overhang it, as this one does. The over-nose wrinkle is the pug's crowning glory. An unbroken wrinkle over the bridge of the nose, as seen here, unifies the face. A full nose roll is an asset to a pug because it allows greater length of nose under the roll for better breathing without changing the round shape of the head. A skimpy or split nose roll on an otherwise splendid specimen should not be heavily penalized. A split wrinkle is permissible, provided the nose is short and properly set. The dog on the left has a correct nose wrinkle, but the dog on the right has a split nose wrinkle, which is less desirable. Undesirable. A Dudley or butterfly nose. Pinched nostrils.
Wrinkles, large and deep.
Perhaps most important to the breed's typical expression are the head wrinkles. The wrinkles of the forehead should be deep and set off by a darkening within the folds of the wrinkles. While the facial wrinkles need not be symmetrical, symmetry is more desirable. Wrinkles can, however, conceal an incorrect head. To judge the head properly, the lead should be dropped so that the head is up naturally and the bone structure can be examined more easily. Surplus skin forms large loose folds around the neck and shoulders. Loose skin, which extends down the back, is less desirable, but should not be heavily penalized in an otherwise excellent specimen. Undesirable. Plain, unwrinkled face. Lack of loose skin. Lack of nose roll.
Mask. The mask should be black. The more intense and well-defined it is, the better.
This somewhat redundant portion of the standard serves to underscore the importance of both the intensity and the definition of the face mask. A lack of clear delineation between the mask and the surrounding areas of the head is undesirable. Black pugs, of course, will not show any definition between the mask and the rest of the head. They are as desirable as fawn pugs.
Markings, clearly defined. The muzzle or mask, ears, moles on cheeks, thumb mark or diamond on forehead, back trace should be as black as possible.
This portion of the standard refers, of course, only to the fawn pug. The mask should be as black as possible. There must be a distinct separation between the black muzzle and the fawn upper portion of the head. There should not be a gradual, smutty shading from one to the other. Ears should be densely black to the base. The mole on the cheek should be noticeably black. The diamond or thumb mark refers to a dark mark on the forehead, separate from the muzzle markings, which is called for in the standard, but not always seen.
Trace, a black line extending from the occiput to the tail.
The pug's trace is a subject of controversy and has been since the 19th century. The trace is a black line extending along the spine from occiput to tail. Unfortunately, this characteristic has largely disappeared. Today, a trace may best be defined as a definite darkening of coat color along the spine. The trace should never be confused with saddling or smut.
Body, short and cobby, wide in chest, and well ribbed up.
The body should give the strong impression of thick-set squareness. A short back like this is most desirable. This youngster is too long, with not enough depth of body. Elbows should be placed close to the body and should turn neither in nor out while the pug is standing or moving. The top line should be level from withers to the tail set, and the tail should be set high, as seen here. The nice dog on the left is high in the rear. The one on the right has a roached back. A well-ribbed-up pug will have a broad chest, with the sternum protruding well forward of the front assembly. However, an abnormal projection of the breastbone, pigeon breast, is undesirable. The standard makes no mention of neck. The head and body should be joined by a strong, well-muscled neck, with enough length to carry the head proudly. The neck should have a slight rise or crest behind the skull, and should increase in breadth as it blends smoothly into the shoulders. Where the shoulder blade lies in relation to the backbone determines the appearance of neck length. Undesirable, low at the shoulders, roached, sway-backed, or falling away toward the tail set, a narrow chest, excessive tuck-up, a lean, rangy body, slab sides, too fat or too soft.
Legs, very strong, straight, of moderate length, and well under.
It goes without saying that very strong legs mean substantial in bone. Viewed from the front, legs must be straight down from the elbow. Viewed from the side, elbows should lie close to the ribs and in line with the bottom of the chest. Pasterns should be strong, but with a slight bend. The back of the elbow should be directly under the point of withers, thus setting the legs well under. The chest should be well rounded out past the point of shoulder. The pug should have large, full, and muscular thighs and buttocks, with a good bend of stifle, but not exaggerated, and short hocks perpendicular to the ground. The hocks should not extend much beyond the point of rump. This is a strong, powerful hindquarter. Undesirable, straight or exaggerated stifles, fiddle front, bowed front, down in pasterns, straight pasterns, loose elbows, fine bone, legs too short or too long.
Feet, neither so long as the foot of the hare, nor so round as that of the cat. Well split-up toes, and the nails black.
The feet on the left are good. Those on the right are flat, splayed feet. A pug's feet are more oval than round, with well split-up toes and thick pads. The nails should be black, but if a light-nailed pug is obviously better, he should not be overly penalized. This is a fairly common fault that breeders have to make a serious effort to overcome. Dew claws are normally removed, but retention of dew claws should not be penalized. Undesirable, flat feet, splayed feet, white nails.
Tail, curled tightly as possible over the hip. The double curl is perfection.
The tail is another very distinctive pug characteristic. It must be set well up on the back, as this one is. A low tail set like this makes the back look longer and ruins the top line. A double curl is perfect. But a tight single or 1.5 twist should not be faulted. While the standard states the tail shall be carried over the hip, it is now generally accepted that it may be carried on top of the back as well. Undesirable, a single loose curl, less than a single curl, a tail too short to curl completely, low tail set, too thin, too loose, tail carried uncurled.
Coat, fine, smooth, soft, short, and glossy, neither hard nor woolly.
Single and double coats are both acceptable, as long as they are not hard or woolly. On fawn pugs, a smattering of black-tipped guard hairs, hardly visible unless inspected closely, are quite common and proper. This should not be confused with a smutty coat like this. Undesirable, long, hard, or woolly coat.
Color, silver or apricot fawn. Each should be decided to make the contrast complete between the color and the trace and the mask. Black.
Apricot fawn may vary from a cream color to a deep apricot or reddish gold. Silver fawn is almost never seen in this country. In any fawn shade, the important point is that the color be clear and be distinctly contrasted with the black pigmentation of the mask and ears. Pugs should be judged with no preference for either fawn or black coat color, as they are widely interbred. An advantage of the black pug is his silhouette, but a disadvantage is the lack of definition in the head, which is afforded to the fawn because of the striking color contrast in mask and markings. Therefore, the judge must give particular attention to the black's head to ascertain that all necessary qualities are present. The black color also gives the optical illusion of finer bone. The black coat should be very glossy, with no sign of rust, as seen here, or grayness. A few white hairs are occasionally found on the chest of the black and are permissible. Aging dogs may develop frosting on the muzzle, and this should not be penalized. However, white found elsewhere on the dog is not desirable. Undesirable. For the fawn, smuttiness, indistinct colors, a bleeding of the black areas into the fawn, lack of distinct demarcation between black and fawn areas, broad saddles, white spots. For the black, gray or rusty coats, white spots, other than a few white hairs on the chest.
Scale of points. Symmetry. Fawn 10, black 10. Size. Fawn 5, black 10. Condition. Fawn 5, black 5. Body. Fawn 10, black 10. Legs and feet. Fawn 5, black 5. Head. Fawn 5, black 5. Muzzle. Fawn 10, black 10. Ears. Fawn 5, black 5. Eyes. Fawn 10, black 10. Mask. Fawn 5. Wrinkles. Fawn 5, black 5. Tail. Fawn 10, black 10. Trace. Fawn 5. Coat. Fawn 5, black 5. Color. Fawn 5, black 10. Totals 100.
The scale of points included in the standard is a useful guide in evaluating the various aspects of the pug. But this scale should not be used in a literal or mathematical manner to consider individual parts above the dog's overall quality. Balance, condition, and zest all contribute to make the pug far more than merely the sum of his parts. The standard makes no mention of temperament. Both black pugs and fawn pugs are outgoing, boisterous on occasion, gaily mischievous, stubborn, and willful. The pug is a cheerful, amiable little soul who frequently exhibits high spirits and loves to play, but is not nervous or high-strung. Pugs are good watchdogs and very patient with children. The exhibition of their naturally high spirits in the ring should be considered favorably, whereas indications of shyness, nervousness, and aggressiveness are unusual. The standard makes no mention of movement. Gait should be free, self-assured, and jaunty. A pug should come toward you at a collected trot with legs coming straight down from the shoulder, elbows close to the body, toes pointing forward. However, as speed increases, the legs fore and aft will tend to converge toward a central line of gravity. The legs will maintain a straight line from shoulder to foot and from hip to hock. Going away, the pug should push off with legs straight from hip to hock. Viewed from the side, a pug should move with the front leg reaching out until the leg and shoulder are in a straight line. And the rear leg is well extended with the foot out so that the pad will show. The two legs under the body should almost meet, toe to pad. Balanced angulation is the key to correct movement as seen here. Any imbalance in structure between front and rear will result in a variety of gait disorders. Undesirable, crabbing, sidewinding, cowhocks, paddling, hackney gait, mincing, weaving, waddling, overreaching, pacing, towing in or out. This presentation is intended as an aid to forming a correct image of a quality pug. As a judge, it is your responsibility to find and place those dogs that best exemplify the qualities called for in the standard. Remember the geometric bywords for the pug: round head, square body. The pug is an ideal companion. He is eager, mischievous, and always ready to please his owner. Pugs do not have hunting, herding, or digging instincts, so are generally easy to raise and live with. The mature pug retains his playfulness and enthusiasm along with his sensible and accommodating behavior well into old age.